The book of Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 7, to open the blind eyes, to bring out the prisoners from the prison, and them that sit in darkness out of the prison house. Shalom, all glorification, honor, and praise going out only unto Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, along with the bishops, Wazaquanyum, who rule and teach the lambs well. And salutations to the elect of Israel, Yasharallah, the Bayashadawadah, which is the house of David, which is being raised up spiritually in these latter days, pursuant to the book of Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, through the preaching and teaching of this gospel of the kingdom of heaven. It all starts with the 144,000, his servants, the prophets, the first fruits of salvation, and goes down the line to the men, women, and children, believers, the rest of that remnant that the Lord is going to deliver out of the coming destruction. And that's what's coming to America. Total and complete destruction, which is going to be compliments of the intercontinental ballistic missiles and the chariots of the Lord. I'm Shamar Amath. It's Friday, July the 5th, 2024. You can probably hear the fireworks in the background. Salakia for that. But it's otherwise peaceful where I am right now. And yeah, by the way, Shabbat Shalom, because we went into another new moon or new month, so we begin a new cycle. Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. So Shabbat Shalom, and Lord willing, it will be peaceful. All right, for the men who are out there teaching on the highways and byways, and all you believers. I just wanted to get into this quick lesson because, this is something I was meditating on yesterday. Yesterday being July 4th, the 4th of July, and just thinking about how, what I was thinking about was, and meditating on was, we used to be blind, man. Spiritually speaking, we used to be blind, and the Lord opened our eyes, man, when we came into the truth. The Lord, called us into this marvelous light, which is for a long time been one of my favorite scriptures. Matter of fact, let me read this real quick. The Lord called us into this marvelous light. We've been called into a marvelous light. All right. By Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. But let me get this in 1 Peter 2. And, oh man, hold on. Okay, my screen was a little dark there, so let me brighten that up a little bit. So 1 Peter 2. And these two epistles that Peter wrote, they were written to the scattered elect, not everybody. All right. And picking it up at verse 9, 1 Peter 2 and 9, but ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation. The only holy nation on the planet is Israel. All right, holy being Quadash, meaning separate, distinct, special, right? A peculiar people, that ye should shew forth the praises of him who have called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. And Yahushua said he was the light of the world. Yahushua came to this earth, all right, to be the light of the world, which the world being spoken of is the world of Israel. All right, that word for world, is cosmos. It's talking about Israel, not everybody. Another lesson for another time. Anyway, yeah, the Lord restored our sight, spiritually speaking. So let's go back to Isaiah 42. We'll pick it up in verse 6. All right, Isaiah chapter 42, verse 6, and it reads, I, the Lord Yahweh, have called thee in righteousness, and will hold thine hand, and will keep thee, and give thee for a covenant of the people, for a light of the Gentiles, Israelite foreigners. Again, another lesson for another time, but this is in reference to, this is talking about Yahushua, okay? He is ultimately that light for the Gentiles. Okay, now he called men, okay, to carry that light, to the Gentiles. For example, primarily the Apostle Paul, all right, who was again the apostle to the Gentiles. He magnified his office. All right, so this is talking about Yahushua. Okay, it says, verse 7, to open the blind eyes. And Yahushua did that physically and spiritually. Okay, physically and spiritually, he opened blind eyes. Okay, it says to open the blind eyes, to bring out the prisoners from the prison, and them that sit in darkness out of the prison house. And, again, prior to coming into the truth, prior to coming into this marvelous light, we were all in prison, Mentally, we were in prison. Spiritually, we were in prison, We were prisoners of this world, right, of this system, in complete and total darkness, man, groping. Now a lot of us, and brothers will tell you, a lot of us do something was really off. We just didn't know exactly how to, how to phrase it prior to, being illuminated. But yeah, we were in total darkness, man. But the Lord, hey, but now, there was that song years ago, I can see clearly now. Now we see clearly, man, through the Spirit. Call Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakah Kodash. We'll skip down. Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 16, and I will bring the blind by a way that they knew not. I will lead them in paths that they have not known. I will make darkness light before them, right? And crooked things straight. These things will I do unto them and not forsake them. And again, right now, these promises apply only to the elect Israel, all right? The prophets and then the believers. Not all Israel goes. 2/3 are blinded, man. Matter of fact, we can go get a all-star scripture on that. Lord ain't dealing with 2/3 of you Israelites in these last days over here in America, all right? He ain't dealing with 2/3 you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, who are the Lord's chosen people, to include you Israelite foreigners, speckled birds. Romans chapter 11 and verse 7, what then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded. All right, so the Lord shut up the eyes, spiritually speaking, of, you adulterers and adulteresses out there. You guys who was out, celebrating this pagan madness called the 4th of July, which is a total Masonic construct. And again, everything these people do, beginning with Amalek, Esau, chiefly Amalek, though, the international banking family, everything they say that they've told you, about this so-called country is a fucking lie, man. We grew up with lies. But now we see Salakia. But there's a hold on, Psalms. I had this scripture lined up, Psalm 146. In verse 8, and it reads, the Lord Yahweh openeth the eyes of the blind. All right, that's who opened our eyes up. That's who calls us to see. All right, that's again who called us into this marvelous light. The Lord Yahweh raiseth them that are bowed down. The Lord Yahweh loveth the righteous. Once again, right now, the righteous is only speaking of the elect. Ultimately, all Israel is going to be saved and be righteous and be in their right frames and, inherit these promises, But they're not going to be delivered on this side. All right, they're going to have to be born again into the kingdom of heaven through the loins of the prophets. Okay, after they served their punishment over here in Babylon. All right, living in that lake of fire, which the lake of fire will be America. All right, how's it going to be turned into a lake of fire? Well, Russia, Iran, China, and even America's own allies, all right, are going to send those arrows, man. They're going to be shot from one end of heaven to the other. Okay, arrows being the intercontinental ballistic missiles, was ultimately, which ultimately those are the weapons of the Lord's indignation. Okay? That's how he's going to bring this place down. It's going to be thrown down violently. You can read about that. Well, in one place I was thinking of Revelation 18. It says, thus this place will be thrown down, with violence. But, yeah, man, so we see now, right? But Yahushua did this miracle for a blind man, for a literal blind man, like he couldn't see, physically couldn't see. And let's read about this. Picking up in the book of John, St. John chapter 9, verse 5, as long as I am in the world, I'm the light of the world. That's talking about, this is Yahushua speaking, Slakia. Okay. Again, Yahushua is the light of the world. Okay. It says, when he had thus spoken, he spat on the ground and made clay of the spittle, and he anointed the eyes of the blind man with the clay. And said unto him, go wash in the pool of Siloam, which is by interpretation sent. He went his way, therefore, and washed and came seeing. Okay, so Yahushua did this literal miracle, because you have men out here. There's that dude Jephthah, the leader of one body in Yahushua, and he ain't the only one that speaks against the Lord doing literal miracles, but he comes to mind. I don't even think they're one body in Yahushua no more. But this is a literal miracle that Yahushua performed, and only the elect, all right, are gonna believe this anyway. So if you don't believe this, it ain't meant for you, and you're gonna stay blind, and ultimately you're gonna be destroyed. All right. The Lord did literal miracles and also gave power to his apostles to do miracles, and we're about to relive the book of Acts. All right, going into the time of Jacob's trouble, which we're in already, being in the beginning of sorrows. There's going to be men out here doing miracles, literally restoring, all right, sight to the blind, literally causing lame men and women to walk. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Verse 8, the neighbors therefore, and they which before had seen him, that he was blind, said, is this not, it's like, is not this he that sat and begged? Some said, this is he. Others said, he is like him. But he said, I am he. Okay. So there's always controversy, Jake, and Jake, our people love a good controversy, So, said, therefore said they unto him, how were thine eyes opened? All right. He answered and said, a man that is called Yahushua. All right, not Jesus, not no damn Jesus. Okay. Yeah, people would have looked at you funny 2,000 years ago if you called Yahushua Jesus. All right, his name is Yahushua. It means he delivers or he saves. A man that is called Yahushua made clay and anointed mine eyes and said unto me, go to the pool of Siloam and wash. And I went and washed, and I recovered, and I received sight. Then said they unto him, verse 12, where is he? He said, I know not. Continuing on, it says, and it was, Slakia. Verse 13, they brought to the Pharisees him that aforetime was blind, and it was the Sabbath day. Verse 14, which this is spiritual, because I'm doing this lesson on the Sabbath. It says, and it was the Sabbath day when Yahushua made the clay and opened his eyes. So, the Pharisees didn't like that either, wicked Pharisees, because you had righteous Pharisees too, but these are the wicked. And these wicked ninjas are back on the scene today, talking shit, scoffing, mocking, denying that the Lord performed literal miracles. They're here today. They're standing in their lot. All right, verse 15, then again the Pharisees also asked him how he had received his sight. He said unto them, he put clay upon mine eyes, and I washed and do see. Therefore said some of the Pharisees, this man is not of Yahweh, because he keepeth not the Sabbath day. That's just wicked as hell, man. The Lord, he was actually doing the will of the Lord Healing people. Healing people, how can that be wrong, man? Restoring a blind man's sight. That's a spiritual thing that the Lord did. But these men, they weren't spiritual, man. They were natural men. So they didn't receive this, through the Spirit. Because they ain't spiritual. And they're the exact same way today. Anyway, therefore said some of the Pharisees, verse 16, this man is not of Yahweh because he keepeth not the Sabbath day. Others said, how can a man that is a sinner do such miracles? See? And there was a division among them, right? Same as it is today. And I'm getting to the point. Verse 17, they say unto the blind man again, what sayest thou of him, that he hath opened thine eyes? He said, he is a prophet. But the Jews did not believe concerning him that he had been blind and received his sight until they called the parents of him that had received his sight. And they asked them, saying, is this your son, who ye say was born blind? Verse 19, how then doeth he now see? Verse 20, his parents answered them and said, we know that this is our son, and that he was born blind. But by what means he now seeth, we know not, or who hath opened his eyes, we know not. He is of age, ask him, he shall speak for himself. And you know what? I guess for time's sake, I'll skip down. Yeah, I'll skip down. But this is a beautiful chapter anyway, so you should go and read it on your, on your own time. But let me get down to the point. Because, we can tell people, a family member, maybe a close friend we had in the world, we can tell them what happened to us, spiritually speaking. But guess what? At some point, it's going to come down to what this blind man said to these wicked Pharisees who were probing him and really harassing him. It's going to come down to what he said to them. All right. Let's see. All right, so let's pick it. Well, hell, Salakia. I was right there. Might as well just keep on going there, right? All right, verse 24. Salakia for that. Then again called they the man that was blind and said unto him, give Yahweh the praise. We know that this man is a sinner. He answered and said, whether he be a sinner or no, verse 25, I know not. One thing I know, that whereas I was blind, now I see. Right? That's what we know. At one point in time, we were blind. Again, the world is going to ask for explanation. They're going to say, we knew you when you was a little kid. You was a badass little kid. And now you're this, preacher. What happened? How did that happen? And at some point, it's as simple as, hey, all I know is I was blind and now I see. So, hey, it just something I was meditating on through the Spirit, and again, the Wadi Habashim Yahshai, Bahashim Rakakwadash, for, opening our eyes, restoring our sight, so we can see these things through the Spirit, and not only see them, but, break them down, all the dark parables and hard sayings and all the prophecies. So, Lord willing, you was edified. And with that, I want to say again, Shabbat Shalom. Us on to the next video.